Welcome to Behind the Illness with Allie V. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Behind the Illness. I'm Allie V. Today we are going to talk about addiction with special guest Kayla McKern, who is going to tell her personal story of addiction and recovery. So I'm here with Kayla. We're outside at the park just for a change of scenery. So if you hear any birds in the background or anything like that, just use that as kind of like a meditation time or something like that, you know. And I'm just gonna let her kind of talk about her recovery and her journey, and we're gonna get started. And if you feel at any time that you need to turn it off, please do. There might be some trigger warnings. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so Kayla, I'm gonna let you take over.
Okay, my name's Kayla McKern. A lot of you know me, through Allie, basically. We're best friends, been friends since 2004. And, a lot of you may not have known that I am a recovering addict from opioids, basically. Opioids consisting of hydrocodone, oxycodone, OxyContin, those kind of drugs. I remember taking them, abusing them, probably at 16 or so. But it wasn't like, oh, let me go buy them from somebody, I would basically 5-finger discount, which is basically stealing them. But I always thought I'm bigger than my addiction. I can stop anytime I want and everything like that. Let me see. 2018 was when things hit the fan. I was just going through a really, really, really hard time. And at this point, if you want to, skip this part, because it may be very triggering for you or something like that, or maybe you have a family member that's going through this. But I have a great uncle who is on pain pills right now, specifically oxycodone. And he wants to take his own life. So by taking all of them. So in 2018, I was going through a really rough patch. And I guess I wanted to save his life, so I took the pills from him without his knowledge, and he doesn't even know that I took them or anything like that. So I took them, and then I started abusing them. And I would take them just because I was bored, or something oh, my back's hurting or something like that. I would just take it, instead of a Tylenol, I would take, a pain pill. And it was getting to the point where I started buying them and stuff, and it was getting out of hand. And eventually, in 2018, I was going to school, and it was around fall, and I just had I couldn't find anybody to buy from or anything like that, and I needed them. It was a need. It wasn't like a want. It was a need. I needed to feel that addiction. I needed to feel the euphoric feeling whenever you take them and stuff. And I ended up having a mental breakdown at school, and just nobody knew that it was drug related. Everybody thought it was mental related. And so, thank goodness for my advisor. He guided me in the right direction, brought me to to my school's counseling center, and they had they deemed me unsafe to go back onto the road, because I was telling them, I was like, I'm thinking about driving my car off the road, and I don't care what happens. So they deemed me unsafe to drive, and I was eventually admitted into a hospital, but I never told them the reason why or anything like that. So everybody thought it was just mental related. It's just because I had a mental breakdown. But in fact, it was like drug related. And so I was clean for a little bit. I was like, I had to come to terms with myself. I'm like, I'm out of the hospital. Am I going to call up a dealer or something like that? Or am I going to get help? And so I decided to get help, and I was clean for the longest time. February 13th of this year would have made 7 months clean, but I made the mistake and, actually kind of backtrack to like June. June is where I slipped up. I went on a cruise, with my grandmother and all them, and my great aunt had oxycodone, and I was like, you know what, one wouldn't hurt. You know what, you're on vacation, you can do whatever you want to do, you're out in the open seas, you're not, all these making up all these excuses and stuff. So I slipped. I took one, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and then I basically stole like 20 or 30 of them. And she had a 90-day prescription for them. So, I took a whole handful of them and just had them put into a case. And that's where I slipped. That's where I wasn't clean, and I was trying to claim clean time. And it pretty much went downhill. Just, I'm being very open and being honest and everything like that. I started drinking again, which was something that I didn't do for a long time. And I started drinking and taking these drugs at the same time. And it was getting to the point where it wasn't enough. I had to keep doing more and more and more and more and more. And eventually, the more you get to the point where you could end up, doing some serious damage to yourself. You could die from it. So on February 14th of this year, I admitted myself into the hospital for emotional reasons and for drug-related reasons, and alcoholism. And so now February 14th is my sobriety date. So I've got a sponsor now. So we're starting to kind of make some plans to go to the meetings and stuff. And she's going to get me an AA book. Because I had a little tiny AA book. And she said, that's not the real deal. You got to get the big book. A big one. And you got to take it very seriously. You can't joke around and stuff. You got to take this kind of thing serious. So this time, I want to be alive for all the things like graduation. Graduation's coming up in the fall again. I'm hoping. Graduation's coming up. Grad school's coming up. I've got a show that I've got to do to graduate. That's coming up. And I want to be around here to do that kind of stuff. And I want to be around here for my family and for the friends that love me and everything like that. So it's just, the cravings are still there. Like, as I'm talking about it, like I'm fidgeting around. The cravings are still there. Like yesterday I had a real bad craving. Like I wanted a pill. But I was like, no, I can't have that because I'm recovering. I need to recover. So I know it's easier said than done, but, if you're going through something similar like that, please get help, because you're going to end up getting to a point where you're going to do more and more and more and more of it, and then you're going to end up overdosing. And a lot of people that I know, or that I've heard of, actually, they're ODing on all these opiates and everything like that. Like, it's become an epidemic. A lot of people are getting hurt, and there's, people with families, they don't have a mother or a father because they overdosed on opiates. So, please get help. If anything, if that's anything that I can do to help you out, please get help before it's too late, because there are people out there that do care about you and that love you, and they don't want to see you struggling. Don't be like me and hide it for years and then just have like a total mental breakdown and everything like that. So, just do the right thing and get help. Get help while you can.
Yeah. And another thing is, like, if you have a family member that needs help, take it seriously. And I've never been in a situation where I have someone in my family that's like addicted to opiates and stuff, so but I would know what to do. But and that's really, take them to a hospital or something, or call the police. But one thing that I think about the police is that for some people it makes it a much more difficult situation because they don't want the police involved, especially when it's something mental health related. Because I had a friend that they pretty much forced into the ambulance, not for addiction, but I don't know. I ramble, as everybody knows, but like, take it seriously, because this is serious.
It's life or death, basically.
Right. It's absolutely life or death. That's exactly how to describe it. And it's scary.
It's an epidemic. Overdosing and stuff like that, it can happen so easily because, you're working on trying to get that high and trying to get that fix, and to feel that euphoric feeling that, you're trying to achieve that first high, and you can't, like, the second, third, fourth, and so forth time, you have to take more and more and more and more and more for your body, to feel the effects of, like, the first time, and eventually I hate to be brutal and honest and stuff like that, but you have to. You'll end up like ODing and everything, and a lot of people are ODing because they're trying to chase that high from the first time. So
another thing that's really scary is we've been friends for a long time. There have been some, like, times where we didn't talk for a long time, so I'll put that out there. But even when all that was happening, I didn't know what was going on, and that's scary to know too, because I could have lost you at any moment. And it terrifies me.
Because during that period of time when we weren't speaking, I was using, so and you have to keep building up and trying to chase that first high, and you can't achieve it until I hate to say it, until you die or something like that, basically. So but I kept it so secret and everything like that, and I kept it away from everybody, and like nobody really knew about, not even my mom. Like, when I admitted to my mom about what was going on the first go around, she was like, "Really? I didn't know you. I wouldn't suspect you." And I even told my boss, I said, "Really? I wouldn't suspect you of doing that, you don't look like the type to do that." Well, there is no type. It can happen to anybody.
Right. That's a really good point too. Even with, we're talking about addiction today, but even with, like, mental illness too, like, there's no type.
No.
You see that little picture floating around on Facebook of all the celebrities that are smiling, like Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
And he's just smiling in the last picture that his wife took, and then next thing you know, he's dead.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Like I've never lost anybody I know to suicide or an overdose, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's too terrifying to even think about. So, knowing all that, I'm going to do my best to keep checking on all of my loved ones, and especially you.
Yeah.
I'm not, obviously I can't be your sponsor, because I don't know what that entails, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to check on you.
Yeah.
And,
because, like, legit, like, I was having a craving yesterday. Like, I'm like, I want something. Like, I need to drink or something like that. And there's no beer in the house. There's no alcohol in the house. So, I don't know. It's just like, you know what? Take a step back. And think of anything else except for drinking. You know, like, work on a project, watch a show or something like that, you know.
Yeah. Anything that may seem really insignificant can really save your life.
Yeah.
Because, and obviously this is not about me, but like when I'm having depressive episodes, I turn on Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it go away completely, but it makes me shift my focus.
Yes.
And that's essentially what you're doing, is you're just shifting your focus. Then you just kind of forget that you had that craving.
Yes.
So anything insignificant could be significant. I don't know how else to put it, but so you find a favorite show or do art.
Yeah.
Whatever, and it works. Obviously, we can't say 100% of the time, but it still works.
Yeah. It kind of shifts your direction, your mindset onto that particular thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
It keeps your mind off of it for a while until the craving goes away.
And you may have to redo it every day.
Yeah.
You may have to do it in the next hour, but just, I don't know.
Because some days I just think about, like, oh, I'm gonna go to Walmart and get a 12-pack and just drink it all night, Like, that's what I think about sometimes. But I know that I can't do that. I can't let myself down like that, And I have to, think about my sponsor, think about my family, my friends, and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah. Check in on, if you're not struggling, check in on the ones who are struggling, Talk to them, shoot them a text or something like that. Say, like, hey, what's going on? Or, well, not like what's going on, but like, hey, what's up, Talk to them. If they don't seem active on social media or in real life or whatever, just kind of
like when they usually are.
Yeah. There's something going on,
Right.
And some people may want to take like a social media break, which is totally fine. You need that break to work on something else, to work on yourself or to work on a project or something like that. But, just shoot them a text or a phone call or something like that. Or if they're comfortable with it, go by their house, and say, hey, I haven't seen you online on a good bit. Are you okay? And, maybe about 50% of the time they'll be okay. And then the other 50%, they'll say, no, I'm struggling. Thanks for talking to me or whatever. And then there's some people, there's that small percentage where they don't want to talk to, I'm kind of like that, like I don't want to talk about my problems, but the only way to get them off my mind is if I talk about them. So I'm starting to learn how to deal with that. and how to express my emotions a little bit better. And so, just kind of look out for your people, your family, your friends.
I like the way you said that, though, like, look out for your people.
Yeah. Like, look out for them. Your co-workers, anybody that you really, really care about and you want them to succeed in life and all that kind of stuff, look out for them.
Yeah. I like look out for your people.
Yeah.
You might start using that.
Yeah, and you totally can. I mean, hey, you have my permission to use that, so.
Awesome. All right, well, with that, we'll conclude this episode. And, if you ever have any concerns or anything, and contact your support circle, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called, go get some help, because there's no shame in getting help. And I think a lot of people have issues with that too. I know I have issues with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to ask for help. I promise. There are some people that are going to look at you like you're terrible, but then there's also other people that's like, I'm really proud of you for getting help. So, and I'm one of those people, and I'll tell Kayla right now, I'm really proud of you for getting help.
Thank you.
Like that, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. So, with that, that is the end of the episode. And episode 4, we're going to be with Kayla again, and we're going to talk a little bit about the other half of, I don't know, issues or battles. I don't like saying issues or struggles. Yeah, I like saying battle. Like, I don't struggle with depression, I battle it.
Yeah.
That's what I like to call it. So.
I'm a warrior,
right. Right. So, episode 4 is going to be about her battles with depression and anxiety. So, hope you tune in, and thank you for listening.